Most people wakati wanatumia Nmap tunapenda kutumia tukiwa ndani ya the terminal, but did you know that we also have a GUI front end that you can use to work with Nmap the same way you will do on the terminal. So ukiangalia my screen hapa niko na Kali Linux 2026.1, the latest one, na inakuja na Zenmap. Tukikuja hapa kwa the Kali logo and then type Zenmap, you'll see that we have Zenmap. It's also under Recon. Tukikuja kwa Recon hapa chini, you can see Zenmap is down there. You can also run it straight away from the terminal. So just click on Zenmap and then of course sudo password. So the first thing is tutakuwa tunaweka target yetu yenye tunataka kuscan. It could be an IP address, it could be a host name, it could be a network range for example, and then we can also choose the type of scan that we want to do. If you want to do an intent scan with only UDP ports or TCP ports with no ping, if you just want to ping, if you just want to do a quick scan, and then you have the button there to start the scan if you want to. And then there's also the command here. Itakuwa inajiset yenyewe when you choose the type of profile that you want. And then hapa chini wakati tusha scan tutakuwa tunapata zile host, and then tutakuwa tunaona zile services pia zenye ziko open pale. Inaweza kuwa ni HTTP, inaweza kuwa ni DNS, inaweza kuwa ni kitu kama FTP ama SSH, something like that. And then on the right side here we can see the output, which we are going to do practical, and then tutaona, and then tutakuwa tunaona pia zile port zenye zimepatikana, zenye ziko open ama ziko closed ama ziko filtered. Tunaweza angalia pia topology, the type of network that we are dealing with here, and then we can also see the host details including things like, let's say, the operating system, and then the type of scan yenye tutakuwa tumerun itakuwa inatupatia pale. So what we are going to do here, we are going to do a scan on Metasploitable 2. So niko na Metasploitable 2 here, if I can show you. It's right here, and it's running with an IP address of 192.168.156. So we are going to do an Nmap scan on the Metasploitable 2 tuweze kupata any open ports and services that are running on that system. Alright, so tukikuja hapa, I already have the IP address of the Metasploitable 2, and it's 192.168.100.56, and utaona automatically inatuwekea pale kwa ile command yetu. So the command is nmap-t4. T4 is for speed. We have T1, T2, T3, T4, T5. So T4 basically inamaanisha itakuwa inaenda at a faster pace, okay? And then -A is for everything. We are going to scan for operating systems, services and versions, and we are also going to do -V for verbals. So tunataka Zenmap itupatie everything that is going on wakati hiyo scan itakuwa inaendelea on that system. And then imetuwekea the IP address automatically of the target 192.168.156. That's the IP address of the Metasploitable 2. And then tukitaka tunaweza change anything here. For example, maybe I want more verbals for example, ama tunaweza change the speed to T3 if we want to, and we can even change the switch if we don't want -A, maybe we want -O for the operating system. But let's just do a quick scan. Nitatoa hiyo, wacha ibaki hivyo T4 VV, and then nitaongeza another switch -SV for service and version detection, and then tutapiga scan hapa. So Zenmap is going to pull everything from the Metasploitable 2. You can see that the scan has been initiated, and we are scanning this target, and we can see that we are scanning the top 1000 ports, and that is by default, even though Zenmap itakuwa inafanya, but Zenmap is still Nmap, okay? So we can see all the open ports on that system. So the good thing with Zenmap, itakuwa inakupatia all this in a graphical environment, unlike the terminal, okay? So itakuwa better na itakuwa more useful when analyzing information, but of course the terminal is the king. Okay, so tukikuja hapa on the left side now, we can see that we have a host imepatikana, and the operating system imejaribu kutuambia hapa. So tunaweza kuja hapa chini tuangalie inafaa kutupea the OS. So inatuambia most probably it's a Linux system. And then tukikuja hapa kwa services, tunaweza ona zile services zote zenye zimepatikana pale kwa ile target yetu, the Metasploitable 2. Tunaweza ona FTP is open, na tukiklik hapo on the other side unaona inatupatia all the information regarding that service. For example, we can see that we are running two versions of FTP. We are running VSFTPD 2.3.4 on port 21, and we are also running another FTP server Pro FTPD 1.3.1 on the 2121 port. They are all TCP ports. Tukikuja tuende HTTP, we can see we are also running two Apache versions, web servers. We can see on port 80 we have Apache HTTPD 2.2.8 running on Ubuntu, and on port 8180 we have another Apache web server Tomcat running there. It's also open. So tukikuja hapa tukienda kitu kama MySQL for example, we can see that we also have a MySQL database running on port 3306. It's also open. And then tukikuja hapo kwa topology, we can also see the topology of that network. If I zoom in, you can see that inajaribu kutuonesha like the topology of that network ya hiyo Metasploitable 2. So you can also do fisheye if you want to. So hapa ituoneshi a lot of information because we are dealing with only one target, okay? Kama tungekuwa tumescan a network range, tungepata more detailed information with this graph, okay? And then we can also take a look at the host details, na hapa ndo tunaweza pata vitu kama the overall information like the state is up. That means the Metasploitable 2 is up and running on the network. So to scan that system, and we have found 23 open ports. There are no filtered ports, closed ports in 977, and we only scanned the top 1000 ports. Okay, so that's the IP address again. If there are any comments, utaona pale. And then we can also take a look at the commands, the type of scans that we run. Zenmap is a very nice tool, inaweza kukusaidia sana, and the good thing is ina run on Linux na bado ina run on Windows, okay? For those people who are getting into cybersecurity, you want to see how Nmap works, but I would also highly suggest that you also go and also work with the terminal one, because most of the tools in cybersecurity work from the command line, alright? But Zenmap is also there, just go check it out. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. But remember, if you find these videos helpful, make sure to like, subscribe to the channel, alright? Thank you, and see you in the next one.